I can say I'm a bishop of the crisis, because I was appointed in 2017 when the crisis started. I know there were priests who were holier than me, there were priests who were better off than me, there were priests who were more intelligent than myself, there were priests who had worked for long and who had done great things for the church that I have not done even, But God decided that I should be chosen. I've always said, if I don't identify myself with the people when they are suffering, when am I going to identify myself with them again? It is when you are in need that you need to see your pastor. They came with sellotape. So they put my hands behind. They had to sellotape my hands. And then they had to tie my legs. I was lying on my stomach. There were challenges that we will encounter, and I did encounter a good number of challenges. But what is important now is that by the grace of God, I was ordained a priest, and I've served the church for the past 25 years as a priest.
On April 26, 2025, His Lordship Michael Miabesue Bibi marked a milestone, 25 years since he was ordained a priest. A quarter of a century in service, a life not just lived but offered. This documentary is not simply about the years. It is about the faith that shaped them, the cross that carried them, and the God who sustained them.
Bishop Bibi is a catechist. He masters the catechism of the Catholic Church to his fingertip.
But to understand a man in the mitre, we must journey back to the beginning, to a boy from Bamessing in the northwest region, whose calling would echo far beyond his village.
I was delivered in the year 1971, precisely on the 28th of July at the Bamenda Provincial Hospital. Our house is located in Meta Quarters in Bamenda, and I was baptized in the cathedral, St. Joseph's Metropolitan Cathedral, and baptized there. I started my primary school actually in Bamessing. My late father, Pa James Landong Bibi, was from Bamessing, while my mother, Mama Teresa Ngum Bibi, from Bafut, but we had a compound in Meta Quarters in Bamenda, which is where I stayed. And I did the first 2 years of my primary education, class 1 and 2, in Bamessing, in Presbyterian School, Bamessing. And my father happened to have been the headmaster of that school. And after that, I was transferred to Catholic School, Big Mancon, St. Joseph's Catholic School, Big Mancon, where I did class 3 right up to class 6.
Born into a home of mixed Christian traditions, a Presbyterian father and a Catholic mother, many would expect confusion, but young Michael found clarity.
My mother used to take me to church every morning. I joined the altar service. My elder brother, Dr. Emmanuel Kenta Bibi, was also one of the altar servers. I used to admire him when he was serving. And I also decided to join the altar boys. And our catechist then, Catechist Patrick Ndichia, was very instrumental and helpful, in introducing me as far as serving at Mass was concerned. And when I finished class 6, I came to Limbe, where my elder brother, Che James Fu, was teaching in the National Comprehensive College in Limbe, and I stayed with him in Cassava Farm. And he actually looked for opportunity for me to school in Catholic School Gardens. So I did class 7 in Catholic School Gardens. And when I finished in Limbe, I went back to Bamenda. Since my elder brother was going to higher ENS, I went back to Bamenda in order to continue my secondary school education. And I went to Providence Comprehensive College, a lay private college that was almost like a Catholic college owned by Pa Fred Mubang. And it was a day school and a boarding school where I was living home and going to school. And I studied there for 5 years, where I had my ordinary level in 1989. And when I came back to Bamenda, of course, I still remain very committed, going to church and serving at Mass. We had the opportunity to have vocation camps, and I started attending the vocation camps to go through the vocation camps. They tell us about the priestly life, the religious life, the different types of congregation, the diocesan priests, and all the rest. So I was going to the different vocation camps.
His earliest lessons in faith were not taught in the classrooms, but through the witness of a mother's unwavering belief.
Her faith and her belief in the Eucharist made it in such a way that every morning she was going to church. When I was in secondary school, I had to accompany her. And it was 6 o'clock Mass. I would leave in the morning with her. We go for Mass at 6 o'clock. After Mass, we are walking down together. She's going home and I'm going to school. And I'll go to school. I'll have time to read, waiting for my friends to come. In those days, there was nothing like breakfast. You just have to hustle the whole day. Then by the time I'm finishing school, she's already in the market. She was selling tomatoes. I will leave the school now. I'll go straight to the market. Then she'll buy me rice for 50 or 100. I'll eat. Then I'll carry my tomatoes pan to go to the lockups in order to sell tomatoes, in order to get money to pay my fees. And I did that every day when I was in secondary school, where I sold tomatoes. After that, she started making food cow. I'll carry the food cow. She'll buy palm wine. I'll hold the palm wine. We'll carry the food cow. We'll go around the sheds. People will buy the food cow. They'll buy the palm wine to drink. After that, she became a seamstress. She will sew dresses during Christmas, especially. We'll hold it around the lockup there in Bamenda, move around in order to sell so that we could get money. Eventually, my father opened an off license. I will also sell in the off license. I remember preparing for my ordinary level. I did most of the preparation in an off license because when customers are not coming, I'm reading. When the customers come, I'll leave my book, I'll serve them. Then I sit back, I continue reading. So that is it. My mother was very, very instrumental.
Michael's call to priesthood grew stronger in the silence of prayer and the discipline of formation. His years in seminary, intense, challenging, transformative, shaped not just a priest, but a future leader.
The challenge I thought I was going to have was when I had my ordinary level, because my other brother was just finishing from Sacred College, Mancon. My junior sister Gladys was in PSS Mancon. Then I wanted to go to Bishop Rogan. And the poor Catholic school headmaster, I said, how is he going to manage? If I want to go to Bishop Rogan now, will he have money to pay for my school fees? And I thought that was going to be a challenge. But interestingly enough, when I went and told my father, Papa, I have had my ordinary level, and as far as I'm concerned, I was thinking that I'll become a priest. And to become a priest, of course, will require that I go to Bishop Rogan Minor Seminary for high school. And when I told him, I was thinking that he would say, oh, I will not have money and the rest. But he said, no, you are my child, like any other child. You think that your own work is to become a priest. I'm ready to support you with your education as far as you can go. And I think he was supportive in that light. And I remember even as a seminarian, he will always be there to encourage and also to support me. So my brothers, my siblings, my brothers and sisters, we are all committed Catholic Christians. We all went to Catholic schools. And I think the family environment was very helpful to me. And not only that, I used to go to Bamessing for holidays. As a seminarian, when I go to the village, I remember the Bamessing Catholic Church. At that time, when I go there and I'm going back, I remember the Code of Canon Law I'm using now is thanks to a 10,000 francs that CWA Bamessing gave me some years back, more than 30 years back. And I came back, I said I was going to buy something to remember them. And I bought my Code of Canon Law, which I'm still using till today. I want to thank all the Christians of St. Teresa's Parish now in Bamessing, and the Christians of St. Patrick's Parish in Babankitungo, which was the parish at that time that I was ordained, and to thank all the Christians of St. Joseph's Parish in Mambo Bafut, where my mother came from, that influenced me, especially at the beginnings, as far as my vocation was concerned. And I remember when I was in Form 2, the Holy Father, Pope St. John Paul II, visited Cameroon and came to Bamenda. I happened to have been one of the privileged altar boys who served during that his visit to Bamenda. And it was actually the vocation camp that I had in 1989. When I was in Form 5, that was after I wrote my GC, that I felt, I've gone to this camp for almost 3 years. But the one in 1989, I had that inner urge in me that God was calling me to become a priest. And as I had that inner urge in me, I decided to share with my parish priest, Father John Nambe, who was a parish priest at that time. And he told me, if you're having this desire, it means that you have to go to the minor seminary for high school. And of course, eventually I passed my GCE. Late Father Sylvester Su Ngwa, interviewed me, and I was admitted into Bishop Rogan Minor Seminary for high school. And I had 2 years of high school in Bishop Rogan, 1989 to 1991, when I had my advanced level. And during my 2 years in Bishop Rogan College, it was Father Martin Kima Ndembo, Monsignor Martin Kimana, who was my rector. And when I came to Bishop Rogan, after those 2 years, the urge was still there, and I applied to join the Archdiocese of Bamenda as a seminarian.
We went in, of course, in the 1991 edition. I met him for the first time in Bishop Rogan. When I came in as a prospective seminarian, preparing to go to the seminary, Bishop had admitted me and then sent me there to study and then learn how to live in the community for the first time. I came from a government school. I'd never lived in the community. I didn't go to the minor seminary. So the bishop told me, no, it's good that I come there. So we came with other people, and then we met him in Upper City. Then at the end of the year, he made it. Then all of us went to Bamboo in 1991. Bishop Bushu, Emmanuel, then was there. Father Manuel Bushu was the rector. So he received us. We had lively memories. Went into the seminary when we were 56 of us. I mean, first year to the 7th year, 56. There were times in the seminary where you had a class of 2 persons, 2 seminarians, 2 deacons, and all that. So 56 of us, lively. So we're there together, we kick-started philosophy together. I remember Bishop and I, that's Bishop Michael I'm talking about, working in the same department, social department with Father Pastoral. So we used to go out, prepare things for socials and invite persons and all that. We have lively memory. Then there was periods in the seminary after lunch where we have to go for, they call it walk, short walk. You are allowed to cross the gates of the seminary. 30 minutes after lunch, people had to go and sleep, or they could go for their short walks. So we decided to go oftentimes for the short walks. We went together with him. And then the senior students, we were thinking of Archbishop Andrew Kea, because we met him as a deacon, then Father Peter Falling, and then Father Daniel Amungwa, and all that. So we used to call him Plato, that's Daniel Amungwa. We enjoyed the arguments, coming as a first year student, of course, people there groomed in everything, the arguments. Especially some of the Tuesdays afternoons when we had conferences. And then the next day, that's Wednesday, we had to go on this walk, and during some of these walks that we actually got what was said in the conferences, because they analyzed everything. We just sat there. We didn't really understand much of what was said. Then we started getting, what it means to be a seminarian, how things are conferences conducted and all that. So lively memory. Then we played football together. Everybody knows that it's a good footballer, a good goalkeeper. Then intellect too, is strong. It's strong in the seminary. So we kick-started. Our class was the largest, about 16%. That's first year. As I told you, we were only 56. So it was the largest class. We worked, journeyed together. And then after philosophy, he was sent to Garoua. That's Father Paul Vezekop. That's Archbishop Paul Vezekop, who in the dying days of his life, and then preferred Father Paul Vezekop, sent him to the north for a pastoral experience. We came back here, and then we could not go back together. When you go out on a pastoral year, you can come back as a team. One may be asked to stay back for one reason or the other. So those things happen. I think he stayed back, I stayed back, he came back, and then things stayed back again for another year, for one more year, and then he was ordained ahead of me and the others. So I was ordained much later, a year later.
When I look at my seminary days, they were very good days. I used to be a young goalkeeper. I was admired when I was in Bishop Rogan College. Before you see the net of my goalposts, you have to be very, very strong. When I went to the seminary in Bamessing, I was a goalkeeper there, and I played a lot of football, And while in the seminary, I was also given some functions that I carried out. One of the functions I had when I went to the seminary, my first year, I was asked to take care of the apartment of a priest, Father Polika Fonjok of blessed memory. I had to, during the time for function, I had to go to his house, to clean his house, to walk at his garden, and make sure that everything was fine. Along the way, other functions I had the opportunity. I was made a canteen manager. I had to work in the canteen. I was also made in charge of mechanics. I was one of those in the mechanics department to help to teach, to give the theory about driving to the seminarians. And we used to take them out for practicals for those who had to do the driving test and all the rest. We call it the crankshaft department. And of course, by third year, I was made a school typist. And after that, I went out for 2 years. When I came back, I was still given opportunities to serve in other functions. I was made the labor prefect. I was also made the master of ceremonies. And among the many functions that I carried during the time that I was in the seminary, it was a joyful moment. You see young boys come together, all join together by one particular aspect, the desire to become a priest. And of course, in the seminary, there's a seminary program we had to follow. getting up in the morning, going for morning prayers, going for mass, having meditation, having breakfast, lunch, going out for sports, going out for pastoral visits, belonging to different prayer and action groups, and of course studying, which was one of the things, of course, that was highly emphasized in our seminary days. It was a joyful period, a joyful moment, of course, with challenges, because seminary formation is also not a bed of roses. So there will be challenges that we will encounter, and I did encounter a good number of challenges. But what is important now is that by the grace of God, I was ordained a priest, and I've served the church for the past 25 years as a priest.
We were in the seminary together, and when I was in first year philosophy, Bishop Bibi was in first year theology. And we normally meet for spiritual activities, physical activities, and other activities in the seminary. The spiritual activity mostly takes place in the chapel. At that particular time, as a first year theologian, Bishop Bibi, they were actually leading us in the Psalms of each day. And the class was not populated as other classes. There were just about 7 of them. 3 came from Obala, 2 came from Kumbu. There was 1 Capuchin and Bishop Bibi himself. It was really a tedious task for them, because in other classes where we have more than 20 seminarians leading the divine office, it may take about 3 weeks before a seminarian may lead the divine office. But since there were just 7 of them, every week they were in the divine office, and it was a very tedious task, because they had to learn how to read the Psalms, learn how to sing the canticles as such. And actually, I know that Bishop Bibi was one of those seminarians who could easily sing the Psalms, because he started in Bamessing and has been listening to those Psalms since when he entered first year philosophy. The difficulty that we had were those who came from Obala Diocese. They were in Enugu, in the seminary there in Bigad, of which I met some of them when I was there. Their psalms were different in terms of intonation when it comes to singing. So it was a hard task for them to actually study the psalms before learn how to sing them. But for Bishop Bibi, it was not a problem, because he had been sitting in front of the chapel since first year philosophy, and the second year he moved to the second desk, third year he moved to the third desk, and by the time he went up north to do his pastoral experience and came back, it was not much of a problem to him, because he had been listening to those psalms for the past 3 years before entering first year theology. In the area of morality, I can say I related well with Bishop Bibi in terms of human relationship. The human formation was very, very cordial, and things went also smoothly. Again, the area of physical formation, we were fortunate to always meet in the football field. He was in St. Felicitas dormitory, while I was in St. Augustine's dormitory. He was actually playing the 9th position at times, and even act as a goalkeeper. I realized one situation where it was so difficult, the match I would play together, because I was actually on the playing the 5th position, the full back, while he was a full forwarder, and he blamed me for running too much, because the ball was actually too fast for him, and since I was faster than him in terms of running, he had to blame me that I should reduce my speed, that I run like an animal, which actually I believe that because it was a gift that my mother actually gave us in terms of physical strength. Looking at the other area generally, when he was actually a deacon, that time I didn't go out for pastoral year, so we met again in theology, and we related very, very well. I never knew that one day we'll meet again in a diocese of this nature. When it comes to intellectual formation, I think Bishop Bibi was far above average, and he did his best to see that the all-round formation, spiritual formation, moral formation, human formation, and pastoral formation went well in the seminary. I think that class came out as a wonderful class because of their participation that was weekly in the seminary. I really thank God for that particular class, and I think he's relating well with us now in the diocese because of what he got from the seminary.
In 1999, the call grew louder. He was ordained a deacon, one of 7 and a lone candidate from the Archdiocese of Bamenda, a foreshadowing of a unique path.
Normally in 1998, during the installations, when we went back to school in 1998, my bishop accepted that I should be made an acolyte. When you go to the seminary, after your first year of theology, the second year of theology at the beginning, you are made a lector. If your bishop accepts, you apply. Then after that, you apply to become an acolyte, and if your bishop accepts, you'll be installed an acolyte. So I was installed an acolyte, a lector in 1997, an acolyte in 1998, and the next year, 1999, 29th of June, I was ordained a deacon at the St. Joseph's Metropolitan Cathedral in Big Mancon, and we're 7 of us. We're 7, 3 from Obala, 2 from Kumbu, then 1 from the Capuchin, then of course myself. And after the ordination, of course, we went for apostolic work, as every other seminarian would do, after having a meeting with our bishop. And after that, went back to the seminary. Apostolic work, I did it in Benakuma Parish. They sent me to Benakuma Parish. Benakuma Parish was under Wom Deanery. I'm still under Wom Deanery till now. That's when I went for one month apostolic work. And then after that, I came back to the seminary in September 1999. And December, I applied to be ordained a priest. And my bishop, my bands were called, and my bishop accepted that I should be ordained a priest.
On April 26, 2000, he was the lone candidate called to the ban as he was ordained a priest, a unique ceremony that shaped him for the leader he would later become.
I had my pastoral year in Seminary St. Paul de Guide in the Archdiocese of Garoua. When I came back, I didn't go back with the rest of my classmates. So I was given a probation by the bishop, and I was sent to St. Jude's Parish in Fundong, and my parish priest then was Father Michael Yu at that time. So I went to Fundong and I stayed with him for 1 year. Then I came back. So in my class then, I was alone because my classmate had gone ahead. Some of us were held back, but the others were from different dioceses. They were from different dioceses. Then the Diocese of Obala had sent 3 seminarians. That class was supposed to be an empty class, because after we went to the seminary in 1999 from Bishop Rogan, in 1991, after we went to the seminary in 1991 from Bishop Rogan, 1992, those who left Bishop Rogan went and started the spiritual year in Jinico. So that class was supposed to be empty. Nobody was supposed to be there because of that transition. So that's why eventually, those of us who could not continue with our classmates, we came back now and filled that class. Obala, as I mentioned, sent 3. Then Kumbu had 2. And then the other ones from the Capuchin. The Capuchin had 1. Yeah, so those were the people who were in that class. And as a matter of principle, as a matter of fact, even as I rightly mentioned, we're 6, not 7. One of our classmates was not ordained a deacon. He was also held back, but we're not ordained at the same time. Yes, so that is the situation. And of course, back in that class, I was the only candidate for Bamenda. So when I applied for ordination, my bands were called, And after the calling of the bands, I got a letter through the rector that the bishop had accepted me for priestly ordination. I had to go for a retreat at the monastery in Bangui together with the other candidates who were due ordination, except Obala, because Obala will normally ordain in July. So those of us who were due ordination went for the practice, for the retreat. And after the retreat, I came back, went back to the seminary, because the ordinations in Bamenda is normally on a Wednesday. So we come back from the retreat normally on a Saturday. So Sunday, Monday, Tuesday was a day for me to practice with the Diocesan Master of Ceremony for the ordination. And that is how it went. And being ordained alone means that you must master the rite to your fingertip. So I had to go through the required rite, and I made sure that I mastered it so that that day the ordination should pass and pass well. And I want to use this opportunity to thank Archbishop Paul Vetsekov of blessed memory. He asked us to call him Father Paul Vetsekov, for accepting to ordain me.
Father Michael's first assignment saw him in the trenches of pastoral life, where faith met hardship and ministry meant muddy roads, tired feet, and sleepless nights.
Normally after ordination, you go back to the seminary, then you finally leave from the seminary, and you are appointed. And my first appointment was actually going back to where I did my probation in St. Jude's Parish in Fundong. And of course, I worked in Fundong for 1 year. I was removed, sent to Widikum. I worked for 2 years.
But the path of priesthood is never without shadows. Early in his ministry, Father Bibi faced a traumatic ordeal and attacked by armed robbers that felt more like a targeted abduction.
What actually happened is that evening in the house, I actually played an interquartier. I played football that evening. When I finished, I came, had a quick shower, then rushed for evening mass in the convent at 6 o'clock. Mary Solida, the sister servants of Mary, in their convent. When I finished, then I came back to the house. On coming back, there was a young man who was supposed to work on some window protectors of the primary school. So I collected him on the road to come so that we talk about it so that he can begin the work, because I brought some money for the work. And as he came, I opened the office. I remember I had my shorts and my t-shirt. I removed my soutane, and he sat in the office. So we're talking. A tall man just appeared, and I was trying to say, "Who are you?" The man came with a gun on my neck and asked me to take off my hands, remove my glasses. Then I just saw that other people entered and they closed the door. So they took me and that young man to the parlor. And then they came with sellotape. So they put my hands behind. They had to sellotape my hands. And then they had to tie my legs. I was lying on my stomach. And within the meantime, my parish priest were celebrating 150th anniversary, I think, of the parish. So we also brought some boys to work on the benches of the church. My parish priest was Father Antonino Stanton, and he was up with the boys. So as we were doing all these things, he was coming down. His sister was visiting with a little child. Macrina of blessed memory now. So they also got the sister from the kitchen, came and tied her too. They didn't tie the little child, they asked him to sleep. They said he should sleep. So when my parish priest was coming out with these boys, they went out now to close on them. So as my parish priest was coming in, the boys were following. As they close up, they locked the door and said, "I will be father for you." Then my parish priest saw my condition and the condition of the other people who were lying on the floor, tied and the rest. He was not willing to identify himself. So they asked me, they said, "Who be parish priest?" I said, "Well, now they're surely the smallest man we live with." So they got him. So, not parish, because when they came, I told them that I was a parish priest. Because I already started discussing with them. I knew that they were armed robbers on the church. I said, "This will pass. I'm the parish priest. I will be father for you." So the smallest person, a father. So they got him to now, tied him, and first went to his room. When they took me, they first went to my room. I remember my ever first phone I had was a cartel that my sister in South Africa, Gladys, bought for me. And I had just gone to town and activated it. And they brought it, but I never made one call. They took the phone, the shoe I used for my ordination, they took it, searched my room, let me know the things that they picked there, did the same with my parish priest, tied him too, and with the other people. And after that, they asked me to get up. I said, "I cannot get up, my legs are tied." Then they said I should get up, if not they'll kill me. Yeah, they will kill me. I said, "Well, you want to kill me, you kill me." I said, "Yeah, we'll kill you, the bishop will send another prisoner." I said, "Well, I've collaborated with you and cooperated with you, so if you want to kill me, fine, but I cannot get up with my legs tied, because my hands are tied." So they removed the sellotape on my legs. Then I struggled with their help to get up, and they took me to the safe. I should go to the safe. The monies that we had brought to pay salaries for teachers that August, they took the money, asked for any other money. I said that was all the money that was in the house. And then they said, "Where is the other safe?" I said, "Well, the other safe is in the old father's house up." That was my only little trick that I wanted them to go that way. Maybe some people from alarm may come out. But I think somebody was directing them. Told them that no, there's no other safe. So they took me out of the office, went to where the hillocks was. They had taken the key of the hillocks, where a single cabin hillocks that we just put the tarpaulin behind 2 weeks before that attack. So they put me behind the hillocks. They took some of them wore the dress, my father's dress, took the Bible from my parish priest room and the crucifix. That's how they were driving out with us now. And of course, the bridge that was getting up to the parish there was just repaired to. Just about 2 weeks before the incident, they started using that bridge. And they missed the road going out and took another road. And I think the person who was sitting behind hit the door and they stopped. So now wait, he said, "Well, I don't think a different road. Moved on." With the tender came, then took the proper route. And when they took the proper road and crossed the bridge, they told me that they were from Nigeria, so I didn't know which direction, and they were taking me to go and kill me. They took only me away, so I don't know where they were, where they were going and what they wanted to do. But I don't know that there were people sitting behind, and that there was one person standing outside the tarpaulin. And I instinctively, something told me that somebody has fallen. So I just told them that, Billy said that man was enough outside, don't fall. They opened the tarpaulin, he was not there. So they stopped, started calling one of the police names. I don't know whether it's Ajudang or whatever they were calling, they were commando or whatever. They called the person, then the person answered. They started shouting at him, "You want to let this thing fail, blah, blah, blah." And the man ran, came and entered the car and sat. I was sleeping on the floor, and they were sitting on the wheels there. I don't know how many people were even behind there. And they told the man, say, "No, father, will not know so before." The man said, "What? My father tell?" And I said, "No, Molishi." So they had a serious quarrel now in the car about me. So this guy who fell and who had the gun said they must allow me. And they're going back and forth. Then they reached a certain place called Tiben before Batibo. They stopped there. And they stopped there. My hands were still tied. And then I don't know what they went and discussed. Then they came and opened the back boot and asked me to roll down. I came out, stood on my legs. They locked it back, entered the car, and drove off. So I was standing there. I didn't know whether I should go up. I didn't know whether I should go down. Rain was falling, But I remember I sang this song, "Look Down, O Mother Mary." I was singing this song, then I was just walking down. And as I was going, something said I should go back up. I turned. And when I was going back up, I heard people talking as if there was a compound. So I shouted. I said, "Na wouldn't they, oh? Na wouldn't they, oh?" Then I saw somebody came out with a lamb. I said, "Na who?" I said, "Na father for we to come. What the father do for outside the kind time?" That would have been about 11 p.m. I said, "No, na if you don't attack me, then I can't move me for here. I bet when I can't let me then tie my hand when I can't with knife." The man said, No, if he believe you. I said, "Na father for the Michael Bibi." They are Presbyterians, so they didn't know who was for the Michael Bibi. But out of faith and trust, they decided to come with a knife. And that's how they came and freed me. And that was an incident that happened. And they took the car when they reached the police station. One of my friends who worked that day and who was on guard, when they came, he didn't go out. It was his colleague that went out and met them with father's clothes and Bible and crucifix. And they say they are fathers from where they come. But father, when they come out for the house, who saw they go for night, I said, "Bishop, don't call me for meeting for morning. So one wrong go sleep for Bamenda, so that you attend the meeting." The man did not know us. The person who knew us was there sleeping. So they passed. And within the meantime, my parish priest had rang the bell of the church. My parish priest took the Suzuki with some Christians. They came up, and another car to one of my friends, Valentine, had come with a car, and they carried me inside the car. I told them I should follow them and see whether something will reach now. They said they have passed. Then this my friend had to call Bali. Bali said the car just passed. Then Bali now called Bamenda. But when we were reaching, they decided not to go into Njimafo and allow the car there, bash the car. And then they forgot about 8 cartridges. They had a packet, and I think they removed 2. There was 8 cartridges inside, removed my sultan, all the church things, they left it there and disappeared because we followed right to Bamenda. We followed that night, and when we were reaching Bamenda, the police were there. They said they have not seen the car. We too, we didn't see the car on the road, so said they must have gone somewhere. So the car was only seen the next day. In the morning when Christians were going to church, they saw the car, and the one I reported to Father Michael Penuela, who came and saw the car, reported to the bishop's house. We had already told the bishop's house. Then I went right to the cathedral to see Father William Never to tell him. And after that, they identified there was a Widikum car, and that is how it happened.
Such moments test their soul, but they also ignite purpose, and his zeal only deepened further.
If I took into myself the responsibility to make sure that I go to those places and meet the people, because whenever you go and you meet the people, you bring them joy. You yourself, you are happy. The priest is not to lock himself in the house, and you see the realities that is there on the ground. And I've enjoyed moving on cane bridges, on motorbikes, under the rain, on foot. Different so far as I know that I'm going to meet the Christians, there's no obstacle. Yes, there's no obstacle, either human or environmental or terrain or whatever. I have to go and meet the people. And I think that has been my one desire. I say, when God gives you the opportunity to serve Him, you do it and do it well. Don't do it with any reservation. Yes, one day at a time. God gives me life today. I do the best I can do in order to make sure that I answer His call.
On January 24, 2017, Rome called again. Father Michael Bibi was appointed Auxiliary Bishop of Bamenda. It was another leap of faith, and he said yes.
Yes, so I was appointed on the 24th of January. I was ordained on the 25th of March. For me, it was like I was living in a different world. From after my appointment, I don't think I was myself again, because first of all, asking myself, why me? Why did God decide to choose me? And as we were asking, what qualities do I really have that merited? I know the priests were holier than me, there were priests who were better off than me, there were priests who were more intelligent than myself, there were priests who had worked for long and who had done great things for the church that I have not done even, But God decided that I should be chosen.
Michael received this ring, the seal of fidelity, defiled faith, preserve unblemished the bride of God, the Holy Church. And may the splendor of holiness shine forth in you, so that when the chief shepherd appears, you may deserve to receive from him an unfolding of glory.
It was a great celebration. The Christians of the Archdiocese of Bamenda mobilized themselves, they came out in their numbers in order to join for prayers that morning. If you look at the video, you could see the crowd that came for the Mass that morning to see that truly Michael Bibi is to be ordained a bishop. And the ceremonies were good. I had chosen my bishop, Bishop Cornelius Fontaine-Mesua, who is emeritus now, to be the ordaining bishop, and of course Bishop Gabitus and George Nkwo as a co-consecrators. Of course, all the bishops of Cameroon were most of the bishops, not all, but the majority of bishops were there for the ordination, and I think that the celebrations went well with the Mass, the ordination rites. I had to prepare myself to go through the rites too. in order to understand the content of the rite. And after the celebration, I had opportunity to interact with the people during the reception, and I think God's hands were in everything, and everything passed on well. But that celebration, I was asking myself, is this possible? Am I dreaming? Is it true? And we thank God we have been able to do the work as a bishop, first in Bamenda and now in Buea.
But the timing was delicate. Cameroon's Anglophone crisis had erupted. Ministry was no longer only spiritual, it became pastoral amid conflict.
I can say I'm a bishop of the crisis because I was appointed in 2017 when the crisis started.
It be important. Unfortunately, it be sad. So within the context of the present crisis, they begin them will get they find them difficult for go for school. And when you look this palaver fine, you go see them say tomorrow, when things will come back normal, we be now we pray we all, we begin them go day backward. We mean say, if positions of responsibility they come, of course, they never give that position for people them way they never go for school. Them go that's what give them for people them way them don't go for school.
So my 3 years as auxiliary bishop of Bamenda was not easy as far as the crisis was concerned. And I remember I told myself, because immediately I was ordained on the 25th of March. I think then the coming Monday or Tuesday I was in court because the bishops of the province were accused for making schools not to go on. And they convoked all the bishops to court, and all the bishops could not come. And I told my Archbishop that I will represent you people. And I went to the Court of Appeal in Bamenda. That was just about 2 days or 3 days after my ordination. And I represented the bishops.
For these 8 years, we did enter. So even my second year became for registry that year. I be registered here, I do everything. But unfortunately never right. So we can't say and say it in the register bring me a frustration. So we enter for bush, inside bush, we start staying with the beginning. For 2 years, my beginning never for go school because of the crisis. So even our friends they lost their life. Our neighbors they lost life for the crisis. So up to today we still get that pain. People they still lost life because of the crisis.
Looking at the situation of the people, I've always said, if I don't identify myself with the people when they are suffering, when am I going to identify myself with them again? It is when you are in need that you need to see your pastor. And when I was in Bamenda for the 3 years, ask me how I did it, I will not tell you. But I know I went through thick and thin with the crisis. It was at the heart of it. And I had a very courageous driver, Mr. Miabesue, and his brother, Pascal Chengeng. Because when I was going on, I'm going to those places, Emmanuel said, Bishop, I will go with you. There were times I said, hey, don't bother, I can't drive myself. I don't want to be killed. Let me be killed alone. People are still young. Emmanuel said, I'll go with you. His brother Pascal was like my other close collaborator because we worked together in Miabesue, and then he used to take the videos and send out and do things. So he was like my communication officer. So he just said, no, we have to be together. And we've gone through situations in which we were blocked somewhere, we had to come out, identify ourselves. who survived the very bad roads in some of those areas that have literally been abandoned as far as maintenance and construction is concerned. We have had situations in which we were kidnapped. I remember there's 2 particular days that I went through a very difficult situation, and I was kidnapped today, Wednesday. I was around Batibu. I was driving, and this young man just came on the road, surrendered us. And then I was sitting behind alone. They entered the car behind with a gun, took the phones, took our ID cards of my driver and his brother, and took us to a certain place. Of course, when we went to that place, there were other cars there, and other people were already also there. And I came out. Then one mama saw me, a precious lady, precious blood woman, ran to me and asked for blessing. So I said a prayer and I blessed her. And the big man of this boy said, "Do you know him?" I said, "He's our bishop in Bamenda." So he just asked them, "Where is his phone?" They gave my phone, they gave my ID. So you didn't know with them. I showed my driver and his brother. They gave their own too. So we should go. We left. Actually, we were coming to Kumba. Because Bishop Agabitus had an appointment in Yaoundé. So he wanted me to come and take the final profession of the Sisters of St. Therese. So we arrived Kumba that night. The next day I went for the profession. I finished it. And we were supposed to go to Nchang. Because the next day, Friday, I had another profession. So I had to pass through Buea. But I was told that the routes were not passing. So we cannot go. I said, okay, let's try. Maybe we'll go back to Bamenda and pass through Bamenda. But when I stopped and found out from the military control on the road whether I could pass, they say, well, they cannot tell me to pass or not to pass. All they know is that no car has passed here since morning, except the armored car. So it was very clear to me that I was, and for the first time I asked Emmanuel, and do you want us to go? Can you brave it? And Emmanuel said, no, let's go back. So I said, okay, let's go and sleep in the bishop's house. I'll leave very early the next day and see how we can manage. And within the meantime, the Vicar General called me, the road is passing. The finance administrator had just come back to Kumba from Buea. I said, oh, that's good news, let's go. I didn't know they came by convoy. As I was coming, I reached Banga Bakundu. That's where they surrendered us there, took us to the forest. I had lots of time for interviews and questioning and threats, everything. But thank God, after about 4 hours, we were released. But we could not continue because we didn't know what was ahead of us. So we had to stay in the village and left very early the next morning for Nchang. The crisis period has really been a difficult one because the bishops have been accused about schools. The bishops are either accused of supporting the government or government accusing them of supporting the separatists. But the mission of the church has always been a mission of peace. We're there to make sure that peace reigns. We're there to make sure that there is justice. And the church has always said we must practice justice. And justice is given to each and every person what is his or their due. And we have been trying to do that. And you look at the situation, the church has been very, very much involved in making the situation to be what it is today positively. And the church will not relent in their efforts in doing that.
In December 2019, Bishop Michael Bibi was appointed Apostolic Administrator of the Diocese of Buea. On January 5, 2021, Pope Francis officially named him the 5th residential bishop of the Diocese of Buea.
As appointed as Bishop of Buea, His Excellency Monsignor Michael.
From the heart of you, the spirit's alive. With every step we're blessed, we thrive. His Lordship Michael Bibi, our guiding light. Through trials and triumphs, he leads us right. From Monday teachings, wisdom unfolds. In every lesson, the promise of gold. Grateful hearts, we raise our song for the love and vision that keeps us strong. With faith like a river flowing so deep, Bishop Bibi, our shepherd, in you we leap. From the divine mercy, a home built with grace, to the pastoral center, a warm embrace. Bafia to Ekata, Mudeka Eden now too. In every corner, Lord, we thank you. DMRTV shine, spreading the word. In every home, His love is heard. Grateful hearts, we raise our song for the love and vision that keeps us strong. With faith like a river flowing so deep, Bishop Bibi, our shepherd, in you we leap. May God give you strength to bulldoze your way, imparting His love each and every day. With structures so mighty, we see dreams unfold. In dignity and spirit, your story is told.
On February 25 that same year, he took canonical possession, and with that, a new chapter began.
We find our place. Your vision, my Lord, lights up the night. With every community, we feel your might. Grateful hearts, we raise our song for the love and vision that keeps us strong.
With the present letter, I authorize the Right Reverend Michael Bibi, appointed Bishop of the Diocese of Buea, to take canonical possession of the diocese with all canonical effects.
More than any title, Bishop Bibi is known by his people as a man who walks among them, listens to them, and carries them in prayer.
He is following the regular lines of the church, doing what the church requires of him as he ought to be doing. And I think that that has been a great boost to the faith of many people. And for me in particular, I'm particularly happy that that he has come into the scene at this point in time.
Indeed, he has been very much involved, very, very much involved. In terms of the churches, for the most part, churches that are in difficulties, the bishop is always there to give support, financial support, to see that they move on. In terms of spirituality, the persons are very much involved. And I think we are even more interested in the fact that the red zones of Moyuka, he has accessed those areas and had a lot of Catholic converts there. And I think that's a great thing that he's been doing for the laity.
I think Bishop Bibi is really a spiritual leader in the sense that spiritual formation in the diocese has been there before, but coming with that spirit of regular engagement, especially in his pastoral visits, going around all the 40 parishes, when he just came within 12 months, was an added advantage to us. After about 2 years, he realizes that some of us as priests would complain that it was too regular, and he had to make it once in 2 years, which I think he has stick to his promises, and he's actually going around and keeping the promise. I really thank him for his spiritual activity, in the sense that his sermons are really strong to the Christians. The Mass is good and lively, and the liturgy generally, the way he celebrates it, I think I enjoy it, and he followed the rubric strictly. You know, he's a man that actually follows liturgical laws to the point, and we have learned so much from him, in the sense that those of us who at times we add things that were not supposed to be added in the liturgy, those things that we at times want to impress the public, he has told us to follow the rubrics specifically and cordially as it is found in the rites. So I think he has taught us much. Even the liturgical garments, again, at times we used to wear any type of soutane, whether it's rumpled or it has some buttons are falling off. The way he dresses is already a tranquilizer for us to follow his way of dressing, especially the liturgical vestments. So I think Diocese has experienced a great change when it comes to spiritual formation. Recently, I think he has given us the right to go on with the RCRA, the right of Christianization of adults, which is something that is new in the Buea Diocese. Bishop Bibi started it right about 2014, but the actual implementation has taken more than 10 years to be done. Bishop Bibi was started the right, and the first set of candidates are already ripe to receive the sacrament of confirmation. Looking at the recent appointments of Monsignors, which the Pope gave to us, I think there's underground work preparing the Monsignors and maybe some elder priests to be distributed among the 41 parishes to carry out the sacrament of confirmation. I think a great job has been done when it comes to spiritual formation. When it comes to pastoral relationship, especially with priests, but Diocese has been for long without having clergy meetings. We have realized that since Bishop Bibi came, we've got at least 5 clergy meetings, although it may not involve all the priests, but at least 2 of them or 3 involve all the clergy. His meetings are very, very regular, and pertinent points are being touched to see that the diocese grows from strength to strength. When it comes to work in the diocese, when it relating to projects, I think among all the bishops that has worked in Buea Diocese, I think he is the best when it comes to projects. He has not only added what the former bishops left undone, but I think he has completed them and put his own mark on it. Buea Diocese used to be a diocese, the first in Cameroon, but when it comes to structures, even among the first 4, you may not find Buea Diocese there. But after 4 years of serious work, you realize that Buea Diocese is now the first when it comes to infrastructure. You look at the giant co-cathedral, look at the pastoral center and other areas. Parishes that never had churches, they are now in competitive style, in the sense that many parishes are now building their churches, building their father's house. And wonderful for him is that he gives not only financial support, but spiritual support to those places. For the 75th anniversary, Zayanik, you know how long it has taken us. The past 1 year has been a very busy one for us, and all the deaneries have been involved, and he has gone round through all the deaneries. I think the 75th anniversary was a great success to us when we did the evaluation meeting. So I think he is on the right track, and I wish him more in his ministry.
As a priest and as a bishop, he is unique, just like each and every one of us. His style, we appreciate what is done, and what he has done up to this point in time. And then judging from the style, as Riley said, without going back to when he came in and the challenges that we had, it would be unfair. To be fair to him, he came when there were difficulties and challenges. So when you go to a place where there are difficulties and challenges, and then you have a vision, so you have to put your feet deep into the ground and make sure that what Holy Mother Church wants us to do is done. Even for priests, when they are transferred to other parishes and go there are difficulties and challenges, what we expect is first and foremost what the church wants us to do.
There's a lot I can remember about Reverend Father Bibi when he was still father here. I remember here when we was in the parish here, he was in charge of Maryvale and also working in Bishop's house. What I can recall about him is that he is a wonderful, caring priest. He's a wonderful, caring priest. He goes individually. He knows every person. He goes to families, he goes to the youths, and he touches them and finds out what is there. And most especially when it comes to matter of doctrine, it does not mince words. When it comes to the matter of doctrine, that is where we really see him as the pastor, the real pastor who knows the doctrine and knows what he's bringing across. He was father here. He was like the member of every single family. If you go into the quartiers, up or down, I can remember Meta quarters, Old Town, all around the place, you see him there visiting there like any other lay person, touching the hearts of people. And I can personally know when he was handling people in Maryvale, there were things he did that really impressed us. Those people who were not able to catch up with things, like to get all the books that were necessary, he took all the pains to print them up and personally gave them free to the people who were not able to. And that was a very loving idea, and that was a very big way of passing on the faith so that nobody is left behind. In that sense, we see that he was such a wonderful pastor.
For the priest that I know Bishop Bibi to be, I say he's not just a priest who puts on his cassock for the sake of putting it on. He's an embodiment of humility, an epitome of hard work. For his years as a priest, I could see a pastoral icon with a very explicit pastoral strategy, a people-oriented pastor. And he would always do this in humility and simplicity. He's a development wizard. For his years as the Chancellor of the Archdiocese of Bamenda, who did not know Father Michael Bibi, he would develop everything and he would come out with a wonderful strategy to ensure that what he has put in place works and works well. As director of the Military Institute, he worked out strategies and ensured that everybody working in the parish, be it an ESCO of the parish council, be it PPFT or whoever, will have to be in Maryvale. And that is how I personally went to Maryvale, to ensure that I study a lot about the church and its functioning. Bishop Bibi is a catechist. He masters the catechism of the Catholic Church to his fingertip.
He's a very warm person. As a little boy, as a young man, as a priest, even as a bishop, if he greets you, if he hugs you, you will just feel, oh my God, God is holding me. So it just makes you close to him. I happen to be one of the students, ex-students of Maryvale Institute, who did not have it the easy way, because when we started, Bishop Bibi was so strict. There was a day I wondered, does this man know that we just want to come and learn to know a little bit about doctrine? But he didn't take it as common as we thought or as we took it. We went to Bafut. We were, I think, the 3rd or 4th batch. And when we went to Bafut, we were sleeping on bunk beds. And in the evening, he had to come and check if the mamas are okay. And he would say, okay, you people don't mind, it's okay. And then those who had to cook food, if they brought the food late, he would be so angry. You know, everything was like, things of the church must be in order.
To lead is to serve, and in serving he inspires.
Bishop Bibi has been my priest, and he has been my chancellor. He has been my auxiliary bishop. So I have accompanied him right from the beginning to this moment. And I want to say I'm proud of him. He's very hardworking, and I think his short time in Buea has shown that. I only pray that God may continue to bless him, strengthen him, that he may continue to serve God and do the will of God for the good of his people.
I'm not really a special priest. I'm just one of the priests that the bishop ordained in the Roman Catholic Church in the Archdiocese of Bamenda. I was just doing my work as a chancellor and bishop secretary in the diocese. And I don't know those who recommended me. I don't know what they saw. I don't know what motivated them. I don't know what captivated them. And they decided that I should be proposed to be made auxiliary bishop of Bamenda. And of course, after that, when your name is given, it's not only one name, there are always three names. And they investigate the three people. And that investigation normally takes like about 1 year. They have to ask the priest to comment, they have to ask the religious, the members of Christ's lay faithful. They have different things they have to talk about you, and in that way, I don't know what was written about me, but out of those who were proposed, I know that I was chosen to become the auxiliary bishop. So it's a mystery. Even to me, I didn't sit one day and I dreamed that I was going to be made a bishop. My name never even came out among those popular priests who were looked at by the common man as one of those who could become a bishop. They just took a village Bamessing boy or baffled boy and made him the auxiliary bishop of Bamenda. So I can't say, but I'm sure my authorities who see the way I work, they surely saw something in me that they proposed to the church, and the Holy Father saw it and said, maybe this man who has been a priest for about 16 years, 9 months actually, almost 17 years, could be appointed as auxiliary bishop of Bamenda.
His leadership style is downright practical. I think that he's a very practical man. He's a man who sees things and can immediately understand what needs to be done practically on the ground, and we can realize things. He has a way of getting to the bottom of a problem and to look for the solution and to solve it within a very short time. We are really surprised that within such a very short time he has realized great projects which we almost thought were impossible, or which we thought at least would take us a longer period. But today we see someone whose leadership style is practical and straight to realizing things, and he is in touch with people. You see, a leader needs always to be backed by his people, and because he is in touch with the Christians, and he can get them to do things and do them happily. That, I think, is a great credit to him.
I worked with him for about 11 years, and I really learned a lot from him. I saw that he was really passionate
about his vocation, his call to the priesthood, and he took that seriously. And the way he used to teach, I admired him with all the love he has. So I'm very grateful to God for him, and I wish him many more years again in the priesthood, this time as a bishop. As a priest, he did a lot in Bamenda Archdiocese by way of teaching the people of God, celebrating the sacraments, and also by teaching us in Miabesue Institute, Bamenda, as a director.
The legacy of a priest is not written in books, but in the heart he touches, the moments he shares, the lives he lives.
Congratulations, my Lord Bishop. 25 years in the priesthood is such a milestone. For 25 years, your dedication and devotion to selflessness have been a milestone to many, have been an icon of hope and inspiration to many. Therefore, 25 years that we are celebrating today is not just celebrating the passage of time for 25 years, but we are celebrating resilience, perseverance, tolerance, and all what it takes to be in the priesthood. My Lord Bishop, knowing you as a priest, I know that you don't just put on your soutane for the sake of putting it on, but you are a total embodiment of humility, compassion, and the spiritual upliftment to many. Working with you for 6 years as the laity chair of the Archdiocese of Bamenda, and you, the Chancellor, I found in a man whose whole self is a testament to compassion, a testament to simplicity and selflessness.
I'm very much grateful to God on behalf of Emerivale Institute and my co-brothers and sisters for the anniversary of our mentor, Bishop Bibi, the 5th anniversary. He was our director in Emerivale Institute, and we learned a lot from him. In fact, he's a living saint. We congratulate him for this anniversary and pray that the good Lord who began his good work on him will bring it to perfection.
When we think about him, we think about the way he understood the catechism of the Catholic Church. When we think about him, we look at the way he talked about the catechism of the Catholic Church, the doctrine from there. And that is where our faith really comes from. Each time we are doing doctrine, we always try to quote something or get something from the catechism of the Catholic Church. When we were youths here, and some people were attending doctrine, some people were married. And I remember one particular person was married with children, and he was not able to do something. Father actually put a married man back to school, secondary school. I cannot mention the class because you may know the person. Put back the person to go back to secondary school and do something and better up his life so I can better the family. That touched me a lot, that he does not only preach, but he's actually a priest who preaches and goes to action. He's a wonderful priest, of course.
With regard to the clergy of the diocese, I see a lot of things happening in the sense that the clergy is more united, and there are openings. He provides openings for priests. So many have gone out of the country, so many have undertaken studies, so many are still on the way, and with that it encourages the Christians, the clergy in particular, so that no one thinks that he is being sidelined. If anyone is sidelined, he himself needs to look into his mind and heart, and he will know why he's having difficulties. But generally, I think that Bishop is doing his own best. As a human person, he is doing his best to work with the clergy and to give them the opportunities which they need for whatever purpose. Yes. So, you know, of course, you can never satisfy everybody. It's particularly impossible, practically impossible to say you will work and satisfy everybody. But I think that he has made an effort, and he listens to his priests one-on-one regularly. He calls the priests, he dialogues with them, talks with them. And even when a hard decision, he needs to take a hard decision, he talks to the particular individual. And so I think that he is doing his best at his, as a leader and as a bishop. My wishes for him are that he may continue in the line in which he has started. Yes. He encourages Christians, priests, in their prayer life, in their knowledge of the doctrine of the Christian faith, in mastery of it, through his regular teachings and his sermons. And I can only wish that he continues to do what he is supposed to do. And the rewards, whatever those rewards are going to come, it will come from God. God is the one who rewards. And so my best wishes are that he may continue doing his work with his eyes fixed on God, not working, not to please people. This is not pleasing people. Yes, but it is God's work, and he has been working in that spirit, and I pray that he keeps it up.
From the point of view of pastoral, from the point of view of economic, from the point of view of spiritual, I think if I have to say something about Bishop Bibi, I will say God has given us a bishop at this time to lead us towards the path of holiness, towards the path of accountability, towards the path of collaboration with all the different agents of evangelization in the diocese. I've worked with him as one of the master of ceremonies. I think he takes his time to prepare for his liturgy. He takes his time to organize, and he also supports those who work with him in his own way.
I want to thank God for his life, for what God has been able to do through him. We know that every beginning is a bit difficult and it was challenging for him, but I'm hoping that with the experiences he has gained, learning from the positive and the negative, he'll be able to know how to move ahead. Leading human beings, priests and Christians is not an easy task, and he has been able to the task. It's also a time for collection, for him to go back, look at the things he did well, look at the areas where he could have done things differently, and from that, putting things together, he will not know how to move ahead.
I was here before you came, and there had been a lot of development. I am really standing here wishing you the best and appreciating the work that you came and met and you continue to the fullest. For example, the co-cathedral. Look at the stage in which, my Lord, I tell the Almighty Creator that you are great and you make us fine. You have increased more schools. My Lord, it's so wonderful, and I'm saying that many other parishes have come up. The catechists in our churches, they have a wonderful uniform. Their way of behaving has changed because of the meetings. The choirs have been coming up for choirs meeting with you, and you appreciate what we do and you add to us what we should do in order to make the liturgy move well. My Lord, we are so grateful. I pray that the Almighty God should continue to give you that strength You are really what I would say King Solomon, because there's a lot that you have done and you still have a lot to do. My Lord, congratulations and more wishes. So proud to have you in our diocese as our bishop. Thank you, my Lord.
We can see by ourselves that a lot of changes are taking place, spiritual infrastructure. And of course, the Christians are happy because you can see that the emeritus bishop did his best, and he carrying over now with him. He has done a lot. You can see the pastoral center, the cathedral. You can see the deaneries are created, goods and arms. You can see the infrastructure there. The enrollment have increased now. And the bishop house cannot just occupy just the bishop alone. About 9-10 priests can even live there. And all those who are working with him, the chancellor, the private secretary, and the rest of the priests who are working with him, they are living with him there. So you see, he has done so much that within these 4 years of him being in the diocese, he has done a lot. Beginning as he was as the apostolic administrator of the diocese, and then residential bishop now. He's working hard trying to put the diocese in place so that all the religious, the priests, the laity will enjoy the infrastructure and what it is as the first diocese of in Cameroon.
The coming of Bishop Bibi to the Diocese of Buea has been a blessing to us in Buea Diocese, because we have seen the progress of this diocese in various dimensions. When it comes to spirituality, you realize that the spiritual life of members have increased. Because, for example, you see what has just happened here today after the doctrine. Many people are out here and are very happy from what they have gathered from the bishop. In terms of pastoral work, you realize that in every parishes, in all the parishes, together with his priest, they have made sure that development is being carried out at that level of the parishes and everywhere that he goes. In terms of charitable works, Bishop Bibi is everywhere present. He is in the prison yard offering gift. He has gone to Christian communities and offer waters and light in every area. So you realize that in terms of projects, you see that he has equally carried out so many projects. A good number of projects that it is very difficult to name them here. But you can see even for yourself the pastoral center that has been constructed, the completion of the co-cathedral, the university that buildings have been coming up. I think a lot of development has come up with this in this diocese because of since the coming of Bishop Bibi. So one of the support we realized that during the blessing of our national secretariat, if we have been able to realize this national secretariat today, is thanks to Bishop Bibi, the support and collaboration he gave us. And it's not only that, I think we were even privileged because after the construction of that national secretariat, that building was blessed by the representative of the Pope, the Nuncio, and all the bishops in Cameroon came there for their 48th seminar. So with that type of blessings that has come to us, I think we are reassuring him that we, the Catholic Men Association, will continue to give him the support and the development that he needs, the support and the collaboration that he needs in order to take this diocese to where he wants it to be.
When I was elected into the office of CW as a diocesan president, it was as if he too was preparing to become the bishop of the Diocese of Buea, because when I started off like the diocesan president, he too was immediately appointed as the bishop. So I had really worked so closely with the bishop. I mean, he's somebody who has a listening ear. The closeness was as if I was really running the diocese with the bishop. Being the bishop of the Diocese of Buea, and I being the president with the CW diocesan president. Each time I get stuck somewhere, I just called him. I called Bishop. Bishop, this is what I'm going through at this particular point in time. He would listen to me and tell me, advise me what to do. I want to thank God for him, because the good thing is that I started off with him. So I've been seeing him as my father, and he has been seeing me like a mother. Because despite all what is going on, the detractors who are causing a lot of distraction, I keep on telling him, move on. Because those challenges happening or taking place are just the things that are making him strong and enabling him to do his work well. He's a role model. He's a developer. He's a father. He's a shepherd. I'm so thankful to God for him because, and I can remember when Archbishop Andrew Buea told him, Bishop Michael Bibi, take the button and block your ears from detractors. So I think he's really doing it, and he's doing his job perfectly well. I know it's not easy being a shepherd in a big diocese of this nature, but I think he's doing it. I'm so happy for him.
Are there any particular
achieved a lot? And this achievement is not that the money came from him, but came from the Christians who were willingly to support him, who were willingly to contribute for him to realize these projects. In fact, I'll quote the CWA. At first, it was difficult for us. Each time we had to have a meeting, it was difficult for us to accept to host meetings in our diocese because we lack places. When we're going out for meetings in other dioceses, we saw that they had pastoral centers where they could host members of the CWA. We never had. But this time, since Bishop came, he made it wonderful. He finished with the co-cathedral, then started the pastoral center. We have, I think, the best pastoral center all over Cameroon. In Cameroon, we have the best. So we want to thank our bishop for the wonderful work that he has done. Parishes are praising him. Parishes are excited and are happy with what he is doing in the different parishes, apart from what he is doing at the co-cathedral and other places in the diocese. So we want to say thank you, Father. Thank you, our bishop. Apart from that, there's something I would like to mention too. Those people at Bafia, it was difficult for anybody to go there. I mean, for even priests to go there. But the bishop has made it so light until those boys come with bike. Each time he has to celebrate something here, they come with their own contributions. What special? It means he has been doing he has been touching them in a special way for them to be able to live what they are doing in those areas and come here. So I want to say thank you, our Lord Bishop. You are a God sent to this diocese, and we wish you a happy anniversary.
25 years into the priesthood is a milestone event, and I think it's a great thing for him. And I think we are celebrating this in dual capacity. The first is that we are celebrating a bishop who has spent 25 years into the priesthood. And secondly, we are thanking God that our bishop survived a very fatal accident on his way to Yokaduma. So it's a dual celebration, so it needs that we should be celebrated. Otherwise, it could have been otherwise. The message for him is that he should put himself together. The Christians are behind him. The challenges will always be there, but with the enthusiasm that he has, we know we can overcome all those hurdles.
I am really excited to share with Bishop Bibi on his 25th anniversary of priestly ordination. I wish him a very fulfilled moment and a moment of celebration. As a true servant of God, he has touched so many lives. I've worked with him closely, and I'm happy to be a part of this celebration, asking God for abundant blessing and graces as he ministers to the people of God in the Diocese of Buea and beyond.
Manama benambangya, manama benambangya, manama benambangya, we na nama we magam jimao. Manama benambangya, we na nama we magam jima. Nara benambangya, nama benawembangya, nama benawembangya, na nama we magam jimao. I give thanks to God, I give thanks to God, I give thanks to God who guide you every day. Oh. So Papa, I thank God for you. The wisdom where God began for King Solomon, day for your hate. Where you began for we, because man we talk say, you never know Catholic doctrine. That means you don't there for a kitchen, you know there for a parlor. Because all the two places now there will get you. So Papa, thank you.
From Bamessing to Buea, through trials and triumphs, one man has said yes. And today, we echo that yes with gratitude, with hope, and with faith.